This is the professional segment of your Business Matters program, where we throw more light through the eyes of the professional who has both experience and knowledge to give you insight that can help drive your own business profitability. Joining me in the studio right now is an individual who is a professional of his own right. He's a chartered accountant, a man with over 10 years experience, especially when it has to do with the issue of accounting. We're going to be discussing accounting for small business. Join me in making welcome Mr. Abiola Fajimi. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
It's good to see you. You have a widespread experience, especially when it has to do with accounting. You view yourself being a chartered accountant in your own right. As a way to start up, what does small business accounting entail?
Okay, so when you think about small businesses, first, small businesses represent the majority of businesses we have in Nigeria today. Over 80% of Nigerian businesses are actually small businesses. Mm-hmm. So yes, in terms of value, they contribute less than 20%, but in terms of numbers, they represent the majority. And if you sit back and look at the major economy in the world, you find out that a lot of this major economy, India, China, are driven by small businesses. So businesses in those countries, what they have is that they have been able to develop a strong business structure, a strong accounting system that are able to support these small businesses so that they can contribute appropriately to the national development, which if you sit back and look at Nigeria today, that's one of the missing link. And so a small business accounting is about supporting these small businesses when they are still at that very young age, when they will not have all the money to be able to get a lot of expertise, a lot of resources that they will need.
Of course, and it's important that a proper bookkeeping system or a financial accounting system, so to speak, is in place even at that very micro level.
Absolutely. Because if you look at it, if you look at Nigerian businesses, why a lot of Nigerian businesses struggle, maybe for them to be able to access funding, is actually about the way they keep their records. Investors are not philanthropists. They invest where they think they can get value. And how can you evaluate a business? You can only evaluate a business via the result, via the financial statement, via the accounting information that they give to potential investors, even that they give to a potential banker. So if you don't keep these kind of books from this very young stage of that business, at the later stage, it becomes very difficult to be able to even tap to those opportunities.
No, but does this apply to even a sole proprietary business, even a one-man person's business?
Absolutely. Even a one-man business, you need it. And a best business practice is that as you are starting, begin to have all these processes in place. Have your accounting structure in place. That will help you. If you think about Nigeria today, there's Bank of Industry, there's Bank of Agriculture. If you talk to all these development banks, what they will always tell you is that the companies are not ready to access funding. Not because they don't have money, but the companies are not ready. And common issue is usually bring us your financial statement. So you talk to a sole business owner who says, oh, I'm doing 500 million turnover. Where is the record? The man says, I use my personal bank account to run the business. Nobody will give you money. Nobody will invest in your business. So naturally, you are limited immediately by that structure. Because there are even certain kind of people that the business cannot work for.
So are you saying, for example, one of the critical factors that has mitigated against small businesses in accessing funds is, as a matter of fact, a major challenge for them is because of the lack of proper financial records and systems?
Yes, that's one of the very major factors that is mitigating against small businesses.
Obviously, there will be different financial statements or financial records applicable to different classes of business. If I'm a small business owner, what is the minimum book record I should keep? And if I'm a medium-sized business, what kind of financial accounting records that I should adopt in order for me to actually take advantage of a lot of the opportunities out there?
Okay, so for small businesses, I would say basically, you should keep information about your sales, your purchases, your bank transactions.
Is this supposed to be like your petty cash voucher or your regular profit and loss, book and all that? And
at the base level, let's try a bit, be practical. at the very base level, when you're very, very small, at minimum, have a notebook where you register all these transactions as they happen.
Okay.
But slightly above that is that we need to begin to have vouchers, document, receipt. As you have structure, you need to begin to record those things. But for a typical small business that has a kiosk, for example, it might not have vouchers in place, but it can have ordinary notebooks,
yes,
where it records all his sales, all his purchases, so that at the end of the day, it can determine the profit he's making. You know, one common thing you see in that space is that the business owner, the small business owner, cannot actually tell how much profit they are making from that business.
They lay down criteria for you to actually assess the kind of benefit that the SME accounting setup offers?
There are some things that as a small business, even while they're good, you cannot do today because you don't have the money, you don't have the structures to support it. And the benefits to the company is that every month they are sure that they will know what did we sell for the month, what did we purchase, how much cash did we make, what profit did we make in the month. So our experience is that clients that have taken advantage is that they have been able to begin to grow to the next level. Because by the time the owner of the business says that, oh, you mean that in every year, every month, we actually do a turnover of 5 million and I'm able to make 1 million. So they are encouraged to even plan. Some of them are encouraged to invest more money because they are already seeing the result. Compared to before, when they are running it based on faith. Say, we hope that our money is inside. The money has not been lost. But now they see it and say, okay, so if we are making 1 million when we've put this, so if we put additional one, we'll be able to double the performance. So that has been very helpful to a lot of these small business owners. And they have a dedicated accountant, professional accountant, very experienced accountant, that they can even call for advice from time to time. I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think?
Well, it's quite impressive because I've always imagined that if you, even with life, there's a factor that diaries keeping actually helps you to, you know, review your everyday life activities, because it's a different thing for you to be too busy or for you to have motion without movement. So you can apply that same principle to running a business, no matter how small, in a level whereby you're not keeping records, because obviously you won't be able to tell if you're actually having all motion or you're actually having movement being recorded. Part of the things I'm always very concerned and passionate as a good business advocate is the issue that has to do with auditing.
Yes.
A lot of people have actually said that auditors can actually help to arrest corruption in a business setting. So sometimes one of the ways that businesses actually lose money is through those leaks that perhaps people that are working for you are, you know, taking here and there that is not meant for them. As a small business, where does auditing help in terms of maintaining my accounting system?
Thank you for that question. Auditors are very essential part of business, and businesses, even while they're small, should place emphasis on the auditing part, because your auditors helps you to check the numbers, and beyond checking the numbers, if you have a good auditor, it can make a lot of recommendations through the management letter points around your business structures, around your business processes, around your activities. Because the work of an auditor is guided by auditing standard, and the auditing standards that we use for work specifies what we are to do when we audit different businesses. And our work is not just about checking the numbers. We are even meant to do a review of the processes, a review of the activities, a review of the structure of the businesses, so that we can add value to those businesses. Even in audit world, it is believed that if we can deal with governance issues, structure issues, if we can get those two things right, you are not likely to have wrong financial statement. Because if the structure is right, if the governance is right, the output of that process, which is the financial statement, is likely to be correct. But sometimes a lot of businesses don't even want to get auditors. They are afraid. The auditors are coming. They want to expose them. It's not just about exposing them. It's not just about catching the thief, but it's about adding value to the businesses. identifying areas that the businesses can actually improve on beyond just the numbers.
Well, it's interesting you actually mentioned that, Abiola, because a lot of people shy away from what they perceive there might be to their own detriment. But a lot of times, I think that kind of reaction is more out of ignorance than knowledge. Of recent, I know that the Lagos State government has announced the Employers Trust Fund,
Yes.
where small businesses can actually apply for loan to the tune of 250,000 naira and more. And of course, mid-sized businesses too can take advantage of that. Also, at an interest rate of about 5%, which is the lowest, as a matter of fact, in the market as it is right now. How does a small business, for example, who basically does not have a lot of this proper accounting system in place, be able to take advantage of such a wonderful government initiative?
Thank you. Just like we say, as a small business owner, you need to keep the records.
So if I've not kept the records to
If
this
you have
point,
not kept the records
and
to
this is
this
here.
point, if you have now used your personal accounts, the issue is more complicated.
Oh my.
But again, we can rework something, but it's a hard work, but it can be done. So we need to put together that before we can approach the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. They have that's a very good initiative from Lagos State government, trying to support the small and medium-sized businesses, and they are preparing them. If you look at it, they are not just giving the money; they are also putting processes to support these businesses. They will require you that you have an accountant. They will require you that you are keeping records so that they can monitor your progress. So what you need to do is that bring forward the records you have, and then you can approach the Employment Trust Fund.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So I do want to pause your thought on something before we just conclude this interview. The market woman on the street, how does all of this benefit her if she has to take advantage? You know, she's an illiterate. She doesn't know what the IFRS is. She doesn't know what auditing is. She doesn't know all of the big jargons that the accountants will use to want to blind their eyes and all that. So where is her place in all of this?
Okay, thank you for that. As far as you can read and write, you can do some basic, simple record keeping. I went to market today. I bought this product
For 1,000 naira.
naira. Today, I sold this same product for 1,200. How much profit did I make today that I went to work? 200 naira.
No, that's after excluding the transportation costs, excluding all of those.
Yes, gross profit.
Gross profit. Okay.
Gross profits in accountant language.
Yes, that's true.
Then how much did it cost me to transport myself? How much food did I eat? Take it out so you know. So if you get home and your son says, "Mommy, give me this," if your son has requested that you give me 200 and you give your son 200, you know that most likely you have eaten into your capital.
Yes, and you perhaps on that transaction, on that product, you're actually running a loss.
Yes. So you have a decision to make. Do you want to stay put running it and running at a loss, or maybe you want to go and try something else?
All right, all right. Mr. Abiola Fajimi, he's a chartered accountant, and we've been exploring the topic that has to do with accounting for small business owners. It's never enough time we have, especially when you have a wonderful professional who is so jam-packed with a lot of information to cut across to us. But I'm very sure we've actually gained a lot of insight from the fact that your bookkeeping system, your structure is important if you want to access all of those wonderful funds that are out there. This is Business Matters. I want to say a big thank you, sir, for being our guest
Thank you.
on Business Matters.
Thank you.
All right.